Welcome to this episode of Bankruptcy Basics. What is Chapter 13 bankruptcy? Before we get started, I have to give a disclaimer. This video is purely for educational purposes and does not represent legal advice from the Wallace Law Group. So this episode, we're going to discuss Chapter 13 bankruptcy. If you recall from our past episode of Bankruptcy Basics on Chapter 7 bankruptcy, there's certain instances where I will not put a client into Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And the most common circumstance is that they have assets above the exemptions provided under the bankruptcy rules. So as a result of that, there's another option for you. It's called Chapter 13 bankruptcy. And Chapter 13 bankruptcy, instead of having, unlike in Chapter 7, where once you file Chapter 7 bankruptcy and you get your discharge, you don't have any responsibility to pay any clients back. Chapter 13 is a reorganization similar to Chapter 11, but this is for consumer debts. In Chapter 13, you would prepare a repayment plan, anywhere from a 3 to 5 year repayment plan, which would provide 90% of your disposable income would be paid to your unsecured creditors for over a 3 to 5 year period. And if you're over the median income in your area under the means test, then you're required to repay your your unsecured creditors over a 5 year plan, 90% of your disposable income. One of the other benefits, and let me just, before we get into some of the other benefits, I wanted to also let you know that after you successfully complete your Chapter 13 repayment plan, then you're able to get a discharge just like in Chapter 7. So there's some other pervasive benefits in Chapter 7 versus a Chapter 13. And in a Chapter 13, you have the ability to cram down some of your secured debt. So a prime example would be a vehicle cram down. So and it's very common because once you drive your car off the lot, the car appreciates. So for example, if you have your car for over a year and a half, then you would have the ability to file a motion to value your real estate. And by doing that, in the event you owe more on your vehicle than what it's worth, you'll be able to cram down and we'll be able to get an order from the court, which allows you to only have to repay in full the secured value plus a nominal interest rate to your secured creditor. And then any excess would be paid, would be grouped into the unsecured creditors, and that would be paid 90% of your disposable income. Also, we can do this on real estate as well. And for example, and it's very common, if you have a homestead property and you have a first and a second mortgage, and if your homestead property is less than what you owe on your first mortgage, then the entire second mortgage we can cram down, and it's also referred to as a lien strip. We would be able to convert that debt from a secured debt into an unsecured debt, and it would be grouped into the pool of unsecured debt like credit cards. So in essence, you would only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe on that second mortgage. It also applies if you have a lien from your community association or condominium association or your homeowner association. If there's a past due, if you have a lien for past due community association fees and your property is worth less than what's owed on the first mortgage, then you would be able to turn that secured debt into unsecured debt. One of the other great abilities for a Chapter 13 plan, so let's assume you're a year behind on your mortgage. We can actually take that, it's known as an arrearage. We could take that 1 year arrearage, and instead of having to pay it back due immediately, as long as you continue to make your monthly payments in the plan to your mortgage company, then that 1 year could be the 1 year behind. You could actually pay that over 5 years, and you would be able to keep your home, and you would have the ability to have more than enough time to pay back that arrearage. One of the other benefits of Chapter 13 in the Southern District of Florida is that we have mortgage modification mediation. So it forces the creditor to come to the table and conduct a mediation. And we've been successful in the past in obtaining loan modifications for our clients through that program. Chapter 13 is an excellent program. The only challenge you have is you have to have, constant income. You have to have a job to be able to afford to make those payments. But what if I told you that, assuming you owed $100,000 in credit card debt, and based on your disposable income, you'd only have to pay back $10,000 of that credit card debt? I think that's a pretty good deal for you. So to learn more about Chapter 13 bankruptcy, please visit us at our website at thewallacelawgroup.com. And on our website, you can download our free personal bankruptcy ebook, which discusses the intricacies of Chapter 7 and Chapter 13 bankruptcy. I wish you all the best. Stay safe and God bless.